And I'm going to share my screen. Can you just give me a thumbs up, Louise, if you can see that? And I'm going to collapse you down. Can you all make sure that you're on mute? And if you've got any questions, put them in the chat box, because we may end up answering them. And if I don't, we'll go through them at the end. So we have 2 shows this year, one in Luton, which is on the 22nd of March, and one in Watford on the 15th of June. We've invited exhibitors from both of the events to join us today. And this really is to help you get the most out of being at the event. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes I've been to a lot of business exhibitions where people are, excuse me, poorly prepared, or perhaps they haven't been given this kind of information. They really don't know what to do. So what we're going to cover in this session is the exhibitor pack that you've been sent. We're going to talk about why you need to promote that you're exhibiting, how to attract visitors to your stand. We're going to talk a little bit about the networking events and the workshops, and talk about follow-up. And then there'll be an opportunity for questions at the end. So the exhibitor pack you've been sent, I'm not going to go through this verbatim. What I'm going to tell you is in that pack is setup times. So that goes through what time you need to set your stand up by. And we sort of say, you know, the stand has to be set up by 9:15. And the reason for that is if you're arriving late, it's going to disrupt the event and it causes all sorts of problems. So from experience, we really try and bash home the point that you need to be there and set up by 9:15. We've sent you in that pack some pre-written posts that you can use on social media, and some a pre-written email. So you can obviously bespoke it yourself a little bit, but really just to save you time, all the links are there, all the information is there, you can just copy and paste it. And we've sent you all a graphic as well that you can use. Also in your pack are the terms and conditions of the expo and the details of the cancellation fees. We are now within 30 days, so there is no refunds on stands if you do need to cancel. But what we would try and do is sell your stand to somebody else if we can, and there are some fees associated with that. But obviously we are now in a situation where we're getting the program printed and things are getting, we're 3 weeks away now. So all the details are in the exhibitor pack. We have sent out some graphics to you, and we are each day sharing a post on the expo through our social media. We profile the exhibitors, so if you haven't had your post yet, you will get one about your business. And we also talk about the various speakers and workshops and things that are going on. So if you share our posts, that always helps. If you create your own posts, that's also fine. Why not email your list and potentially invite people that you know along to the show? If every exhibitor, 50 exhibitors, all brought along just 5 visitors, that would give us 250 extra people. So imagine the impact on all of us for that. That would be amazing. So it's really just about you sharing that you're going to be there, and the importance of that is that you are promoting, you're promoting that you're going to be there, and people will come to talk to you. And we've had this time and time again where people have promoted that they're there and people come along to the show to meet that person. So we know it works. And also obviously your target market, maybe somebody else's target market as well, or you might know people that will be good for other people within other exhibitors within the show. So it's just about pulling together really, and the more we all work together, the more successful the event will be. So we're promoting the expo through obviously our website, our email list, which is all opt-in, all people who've been to the show before or showed an interest in it, through our social media. You might have seen some Facebook ads that are running and LinkedIn ads are running. We also partner with Fine Networking Events, and they've sent out emails to their list. We pay them to do that. And also the business community, we pay them a fee, and they've been sending out information to their list. We list it on Eventbrite, so we get quite a lot of visitor bookings off Eventbrite, and we have partnerships with various businesses who are supporting us in promoting this event. Plus Louise and I have quite big email lists for our own businesses outside of the expo. So we also promote the event there as well. I think what's really important when you do any sort of event like this is to think about your marketing goal. Think about who it is that you're actually looking to talk to, what you're going to promote, and how you will collect data. Now, obviously, at these events, it's very noisy. There's lots of people. So you want a quick and easy way to collect people's information. Business cards used to be the traditional way, but obviously with the pandemic, there's a lot of people now who don't have business cards. But you might want to have some information you can give people, or have some form of being able to collect information on your website from people, or like, you know, maybe bring a tablet along and use that with a form on the tablet that they can fill in. The problem with written pieces of paper is that sometimes you can't read the writing afterwards when you get home or back to the office and you're looking through everything. So I try and go more down the route of having something where people type their details in. So have a think about that and how you're going to collect that information, because you are going to need to use that for the follow-up afterwards. When attracting people to your stand, can I just hammer home the points that people don't come to business expos to eat quality street and cupcakes, unless you make cupcakes. What we see a lot of at these exhibitions is people chuck loads of these sorts of things on their stand, and they're not really relevant, and they end up eating them themselves or going home with them. So you really need to think about the stand needs to be bright, it needs to be fun, attractive, and it needs to be on brand. This particular lady is Sue, and she has got a great stand. You can see there, she was testing people while she was there and talking around her products that help with mobility and pain management. And it was a really nice interactive stand. It had loads of information, and she also had a free prize draw where people could win a pair of her wellness socks. So therefore, you know, people that were interested in the wellness socks were going to put their details in her prize draw. So it's all about relevancy, making sure that the prizes that you're giving are relevant. I often see people giving boxes of chocolates and bottles of wine as prizes. Well, that's, unless you make chocolates or wine, that really isn't going to be that relevant, because you're just going to end up with people putting their card in the drawer because they want to win a box of chocolates or a bottle of wine. So really think about that. Think about competitions, games that you can do on your stand. And I'm going to show you some examples in a minute of previous exhibitors. Promotional items, so we're going to hear from Ian in a minute, and arrange appointments at the expo. So make sure that you've got your phone with a Calendly link in it that you can just set an appointment up, or you've got a diary there, or some form of, yes, I can speak to you next Tuesday. Yes, I can come and see you whenever. So you can get those dates in the diary. They're there, rather than, yes, you've got to do the follow-up. But imagine if you leave the event with some appointments in your diary already. And I think that's quite crucial, is trying to hone people down and get those appointments in the diary. So here's a few ideas of things we've seen at the expos before. So this is a guy called Neil. He runs a charity called the Red Rubber Ball Foundation. He's also a business coach. And he had a smoothie bike there, and he used that to raise money for his charity, which ended up, the stand cost him nothing in the end because he raised loads of money. And other ideas that we've seen have been raffles and tombolas that charities have done to raise money for the charity. Obviously, it then pays for their stand, and it also raises awareness. So if you're a charity and you're here today, then those are some great ideas. And I have seen businesses do that. I've seen businesses raise money for a charity at an expo through running some kind of, you know, raffly tombola type thing. So you can do something like that. This is Todd from Spaghetti. He's got a marketing agency, and he had one of these games where you had to trace the loop through, and if you hit the sides, it buzzed. And it got loads of attention. Lots of people were on his stand chatting away to him, and it was a conversation creator, and it attracted people over to find out what the buzzing sound was and what was going on. But we've also seen people do things like card games. So if any of you remember The Price is Right, with the Bruce Forsyth, they had, was it The Price is Right, or was it, I can't remember, but you know, with the cards that you turn over higher or lower. We've done Hook a Duck on our stand. and the prizes we had were all related to the business. I've seen people doing lucky dips. Again, think about the prizes. You can offer people vouchers against your services or offer them things that are related to your business. Guess how many sweets in the toilet? This hasn't come out very well on the slide, but there is a toilet next door to where this guy is standing, and it was full of sweets, and it attracted a lot of interest. Loads of people were coming over wanting to know what he got in the toilet. And, you know, he got those conversations going, and the toilet was the fundamental conversation starter. This lady runs a luxury cat hotel. And what she did, which again, very clever, she had all of her products there. She showed her cat beds and what the cats actually get for their money when they come and check in at her hotel. But what she did was she did a 2-night cat stay at her cat hotel prize draw. And of course, the people that were entering it were people interested in cat hotels. So it added people to her list, and those people that didn't win, you know, she sent them a small gift in the post and a bit of a discount voucher on their first booking. So what she did from that was she was creating a list of people interested in staying in a cat hotel. Well, not the people themselves, the cats, obviously. So think about creating show offers and promotions and special offers which are limited to the 3 Counties Expo, and really seriously think about what you can do with your business to actually attract people to want to work with you. It's all about creating conversations with people. So this is Julian from a previous event. You can see he bought loads of his equipment and he was chatting to people all day. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second so that we can go over to Ian. Ian, have a chat with us about promotional gifts and print and banners and all things.
It's a really, I must say, you've touched on so many of the things I would have mentioned myself. So you've done a really good job there, Debbie. One of the things that I always sort of say at these things is that you've got people coming into the room. It's kind of what you've covered. You've got people coming into the room and they tend to do a scan before they do anything, and they you can see them looking around, and they either go sort of, yeah, and you know that they're going to come over and maybe initiate a conversation with you, and you see the others that are going, yeah, and you know that they're going to dodge you. And it is 100% in that they're not going to read every detail of what's on your roll-up banner or on your leaflets. They just literally, as you've said all along, just looking for that attention, trying to see who's, oh, I'm interested in that, let me go and find out a bit more. So the purpose of your stand is to get the attention, to get the conversation started and get them to come and talk to you. So I would urge some consideration of how you're going to do that and how you're going to stand out. A bit like Debbie's got an issue with Quality Street. I have a sort of, your base level of Expo is a tablecloth, Quality Street, and a roll-up banner. Nothing wrong with any of those things, but if you want to take it to the next level, there are ways of doing that. There is a level and more above that where you can just have that, just stand out and look a little bit more special, get a little bit more credibility. Just really what you want to do, certainly I know that we do, you just want to stand head and shoulders out from anyone else. If there's another similar operator in the room, you just want to be that one that stands out. When we were scrolling through some of that presentation a minute ago, one of the things I noticed, roll-up banners are great. The downside to roll-up banners is that they've got grey back with a pole through the middle on the backside. And often in these events, the back is on show behind your stand when people are walking the other way. If you have a double-sided display, that even if it's just your logo from the other side, it lets people know that you're there. What's the other side? You sort of can see in between 2 roll-up banners next to each other, 2 lots of grey. Well, you could have something double-sided. So just something to think about. And then I would, rather than sort of flog anything, just building on Debbie's idea of interactive ideas and building some relevancy to the promo. Again, coming back to, give away Quality Street or a bottle of champagne if you put your business card in a glass bowl. We've seen it. They're not inspiring. They are what they are. But if you can have something with a bit of utility, something that's different or ties in with your business, it's going to have that much more, it's going to resonate so much more with your target audience. So just before before it's quality street, what is it that ties in with your business that's going to add some relevancy? And on that sort of side issue is what can you do that would also be interactive? So just as an example, building on Debbie's ideas, things that I've seen work at other events, scratch cards. So you can create your own scratch card, people can scratch them off there, and then obviously you have different levels of prizes, again, make them relevant to your business, something interactive. There's something similar we've done before, same principle, but they're called peel and reveal. If you think that scratch cards is maybe not, if gambling is too bit not the direction of you want to go, then peel and reveal are quite good, because you just tear them off and each one can have a different prize. One I saw with huge effect was somebody was giving away fortune cookies, and inside the fortune cookie was a different prize. People were just helping themselves to the fortune cookies and then bringing them to the stand to redeem whatever they've got. It was quite an attention grabber. So yeah, that was some interactive products. But truth is, it's worth thinking about what's relevant to your business, what's a little bit different. Loads of eco-friendly products out there now, so that you can sort of give stuff away without, costing the environment. If anybody wants any pointers, then by all means, speak to us. But just the main thing is that, and this is really just stealing Debbie's point, is that your first part of your job is to get their attention. That's all the job is of your stand and what's in front of you, because you're going to talk to them and your business and you'll get to know them and you'll build that relationship, follow up and all the rest of it. But the job of the stand is to get that initial attention. So just give it some thought. And if you want to go one level above the tablecloth, roll up banner and quality street, then there are many ways to do that.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ian. And I think we've already sent your details out, but if not, can you just pop them in the chat?
Sure.
They're in the they are in the exhibitor pack. Actually, so I don't know what I'm saying if not, because I know they're in there. Brilliant. Thank you. Let me just go back to the presentation again. So in terms of data, we find that there are scammers out there who send out emails and say that they've got our attendance list. In fact, I got one the other day sent to me. There's nothing we can do about this. It is a problem for all expos, not just ours, and for anything where there's big gatherings of people. We would never ever give you our attendance list to anybody. We don't even give it to you. We don't share the visitor list with anybody, not even the sponsors. So if you get any emails like that, just delete them. Don't click on anything because they're phishing scams. Just delete. Make sure when you're collecting data at the expo that you are GDPR compliant. Again, I haven't got the time to go into all of this now, but if you Google it, there's loads of information on it. It's all about legitimate opt-in. So you can't just add people to your list, because there is I say you can't, there is a bit of a grey area here. If someone's giving you their business card, whether you can add them to your mailing list, I personally would just ask that question, especially if you're doing a prize draw, or put a sign up that says that's what you're going to do. I think you just need to really be a little bit careful about all of this, handling people's data. And if you're giving people forms to complete, then make sure the boxes are clear, because it's not automatic opt-in. They would have to tick a box to opt in to your mailing lists. So just be a little bit mindful. And I'm sure there's somebody at one of the events that's actually GDPR consultant. So I'm sure we can get you some advice if you need it on that anyway. We've got networking events and we've got free workshops as well. So the networking events are designed, the breakfast and lunch, so the exhibitors can take part. So we do a breakfast event at 7:30, which finishes at 8:45. This is at Luton and Watford. This is just a light breakfast, bacon rolls, yogurt, fruit, etc., so that you can make the most of having discussions with people. And we do a lunch event. Phone keeps ringing, which is very annoying. So we do a lunch event at both the expos at 1:30. And I think actually we've got the speaker for Luton is actually on the call today. So we'll say a quick hello to her in a second. We run a speed networking session only at Luton at 11 o'clock till 12. That's free. It's good for us to do that because it attracts visitors to the show. It's a bit more difficult to do it at Watford due to the configuration of the room, but it works well at Luton. And for those, people just have to turn up. They don't pre-book, but we take a limited number. I think Louise's hair gets very frazzled if it goes over 60 people. I think we had 80 at the last one, so it's a bit mad. So we do sort of first come, first served. And the reason we don't take bookings is because people will book and then not turn up. So then it ends up chaotic. So we want it to run really smoothly. People come in, take a seat and take part. So this is why I would advise you to have somebody else on your stand and not come on your own. If you don't have anyone in your team, you could always ask a VA to come and help you. It makes a difference because it frees you up and it means that you can come to the speed networking event at 11. Plus, I think generally trying to manage a stand on your own is quite difficult because lots of people are coming in and chatting, and it means you've not got people standing there waiting to speak to you. In your stand fee, you get one free networking place, which we asked you to specify when you booked. I've had people then emailing me saying, oh, I've decided to come to the breakfast. Is that okay? You just need to book a place on the website at the other event that you didn't specify you wanted. So if you've said you want the lunch, then you can go on and book the breakfast if you want to. It's not compulsory. It's totally up to you. So the most important thing from this is when you've done the event is that you block out time for the follow-up. So we hear a lot of people who don't do the right follow-up afterwards. And if you say to somebody, well, when did you do your follow-up? And they said 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, that's way too long, way too long. You really want to be blocking off the following day and the day after that to contact people. I would suggest by phone. And the reason I say by phone is because blanket emails from these events rarely work because people will get trapped in people's spam filter. And I would say that just randomly adding people to your list rarely works as well. What I would say is pick up the phone and arrange a discussion or a meeting with people, because that's going to be the most proactive way to get business from this event. I would also suggest connecting with people on LinkedIn, because that then puts you in their network, and it's quite a powerful way of extending your network on LinkedIn. So those are the things I would advise you to do. And again, if you're short for time, get a VA to help you. If you don't have someone in your team that can do it, get a virtual assistant, they can help you. And we've got a virtual assistant exhibiting at the show. So get someone to help you and get on the phone, because 3 or 4 weeks later is way too long to leave this, and sending blanket emails rarely gets any decent results. So I'm going to stop sharing. Justine's here. Now, Justine is our 12 o'clock workshop at the Luton show, all about Google. Do you want to say a quick hello, Justine?
Hello. Looking forward to sharing the joys of Google. Some really good, easy, practical tips to help everyone get better at Google stuff. Get some results out of it.
And that's the bonus. If you get somebody else on your stand, you'll also be able to take part along. God, it's the end of the day and my words are all over the place. You'll be able to attend the free workshop. So at Luton at 10 o'clock, we've got a free workshop with Karen from, is Karen here, Louise?
Live Chat Factory.
Live Chat Factory. And she's talking about how AI can be integrated in your business in terms of delivering better customer service. So that's quite an interesting topic. Justine speaking at 12. And then the Luton lunch speaker is
Esme.
Pardon?
Esme.
Yeah. And Esme's here, I think.
Hello, sorry, camera's not working today, but I'm here.
Esme, just share in a sentence what you're talking about at the lunch event.
How powerful your own image and your own story can be in your business and how it can maximize engagement. Plus a little bit about general image use in social media and stuff.
Thank you. Brilliant. Now at Watford, we've got Stacia Keogh talking at our workshop at 10 o'clock, I think. Double check that one. Stacia, in a sentence, tell everyone what you're talking about at Watford.
Hi, it's about story and speaking, public speaking. So it's about how to stand up, tell your story, make an impact, and do it with confidence and own the room, that type of thing. So yeah, getting your story together and a lot of speaking tips, delivery tips.
Looking forward to that one. Thank you, Stacia. So has anyone got any questions before I just check?
I've got one. I know we don't get the attendance list, but could we have an idea of how many people actually attend?
Well,
Or are due to
afterwards,
attend?
afterwards.
No, beforehand, just so we've got an idea of how many
Well,
people are likely to
It's
be
one of
there.
those things, Jane, that at the moment we've got just under 200 people registered
Okay.
as visitors, and we will get, I would say, between 50 to 75% of those will not turn up.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would say that then what we do get is people that walk in on the day. So we market this event at roughly 200 visitors, okay, 200 to 300, because that's what the last two events that we've done have been. Watford, we do get slightly more than Luton. I don't know why. I think because we get a flux of people from North London that come to Watford. So that's the kind of visitor footfall we're expecting. Around the 200 mark is what I think. We're getting registrations every day, but they won't all turn up, and that's just a fact of life. And you know what, if it's pouring down with rain, that sounds silly, but that reduces the footfall as well.
No, it
If
does.
it's a bright
Okay.
sunny spring day, then we get more people that come. So
Brilliant, thank you.
we've got a big banner outside the venue as well. I didn't mention that. So we've had a big banner which was done by the treacle team, which is also sitting outside venue 360, which will hopefully be able to get something up at Watford as well. So yeah, and I think if you think of 200 people, 200 visitors, plus all the other exhibitors as well, then I think that's a decent number of people to be talking to. What do you think?
Yeah, awesome, thank you.
And you're a VA, so if anyone needs VA services, Jane's here.
Thank you for the plug.
I've got a question, well, a couple of questions actually. One's related to what Jane just said. Do you know anything about the demographic of the people who would be visiting?
Well, all I would say is that over the years, it's been business owners, but small to medium, and sometimes we get large business owners coming because they're part of maybe the procurement team, or they're looking for local suppliers for something. We get local authority, like, you know, SEMLEP are exhibiting, and so is the University of Hertfordshire. So we've got Stevenage Borough Council there, and Dacorum Borough Council exhibiting at Watford, and we're in talks with Watford Borough Council as well. So it's a real broad mix, to be honest with you. It's a real
Okay, well, that's good. One other question just about the networking and the lunch or the breakfast. Because you were saying it's a good idea to have more than one of you on the stand, and I just realized I've only booked one person in. So can you book someone else on, or is it too late for lunch? Can you kind of purchase, is it lunch or what is it? I can't, sorry.
So you've got a breakfast and a lunch, okay, so you've got one ticket for either or included in your stand price. So if you want to book extra people, that's not a problem. Just go on the website and book an extra place for the lunch or the breakfast. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and can we see what we've already booked if I go on the website?
You probably, if not, Dorothy, I'll look it up for you. You should be able to
All right, thank you.
booking, but if not, I'll have a look for you and I can let you know. Let me just make a note of that and I'll check it. Hang on a sec, just drop my pen.
Can I just say that I've just come back from an expo today in Bedford, and it was really well run actually, but there was a real mixture of so I'm going in as not as an exhibitor, I'm going in as a visitor, and there were some really interesting stands, but a lot of people just standing at the stands and waiting for people to come up to them, and actually it's quite daunting on both sides sometimes, but to start those conversations. But there were probably 4 or 5 stands that had no banners at all. They just got some leaflets on the table, and the people were sitting there eating sandwiches, and it was like, oh, this is a little bit awkward. And to the other extreme, where people had put an awful lot of effort in and actually, you know, came up and started to have the conversation. So I think Ian was saying, you know, you come into a room and you kind of scan it and you think, right, who looks approachable? Who am I going to go and talk to? And so you've got to come across as an approachable person that wants to chat. You know, don't go there necessarily with a sell mode, but a talk mode. That's my opinion.
It's exactly that. And every bit of business you ever do in life always starts with a conversation. And I think standing in front of the stand and chatting to people, you don't have to come across the hard sell. I think it's really, really important. And I think just being friendly, approachable, makes all the difference. I mean, I was at an event before Christmas. The Bedfordshire Chamber did sort of like a little mini expo, and somebody brought someone with them who looked exactly like Father Christmas, dressed up as Father Christmas, sat him in a chair that was all decorated, and people were coming over just to have their photos done. And then there was a guy there from the same company sort of saying, oh, by the way, we do this, this and this. Would you be interested in finding out more? And that was it. It was quite easy and it was fun. And I got Father Christmas to do the draw. We did a draw for a free place at the networking lunch at this particular event. So I got Santa to draw that for me and did a little video and put it on social media. So I think, you know, Louise is right. There's nothing worse than seeing people sat there like that behind a table looking thoroughly bored, because there's no need to. I mean, you just get out from the stand and chat with people. That's the whole purpose of this event, is to showcase what you do and to create conversations.
I just add to that, if I may, that I just think, I don't know if we get chairs, but just
Yes,
avoid the chairs. I see you go to these stands. If someone's sitting down and you're walking by, the other people are walking by standing up. It's not the eye level that you want to be sitting down compared to someone that's standing up. And also, it looks like they don't want to disturb you from your little sit down. Where possible, just, I know, you know, it's only going to be half a morning. Be on your feet. You know, it's much more inviting to see someone on their feet. Don't try and avoid the chairs.
Yeah, I agree. We do put them there because we appreciate that there might be a few moments where you do want to sit down for a few minutes, but wear comfy shoes, wear layered clothing, because again, we are at the mercy of the venue. We can't guarantee the temperature. It tends to be quite cold in the morning, but then when you get lots of bodies in the room, it warms up. So try and wear layers. And we do provide free tea and coffee throughout the event for everybody. So you will be able to go off and there's a tea and coffee station. We'll provide you with a lanyard, with a badge, with your company name on it. And we normally provide 2 bottles of water for every exhibitor on your tables as well. So I just think, come prepared with, though there is a lunch event and there is a breakfast, you know, if you are that sort of person that needs to snack, put something in your bag so you don't have to rush off. And yeah, and don't sit on your phone texting. Oh my gosh, that is such a no-no. Or sitting with your head down on your laptop. There's just a waste of time being there if you're going to do that. Actually, we've had people who've exhibited before. Kate, Cherry, what's your thoughts on exhibiting? How do you get the most out of it?
I flipping love your expos, Debbie. Sorry, that's recorded, isn't it? But I mean, you can quote me on that. They're really good, and there's loads of people actually on today that I either met and did business with, or already knew, and it was great to see them there. So I'd say that for an exhibitor, it also dubs as networking in itself. Between exhibitors, there's this kind of sense of community because you've set up together. You're going to be in it all day together, and sometimes you actually do more business with the fellow exhibitors. It's quite interesting, and just be prepared that you are going to get the odd visitor who's there to sell. That's why people go to network/sell, depending how experienced they are in business and networking. And so you're going to get the odd one who doesn't actually want to know about what you're exhibiting and have paid to exhibit, but they want, you know, they're using their free ticket to come and sell you their wares. But you know, just be the big person in that scenario and sort of nod and listen. But they're amazing events. Do everything you can. Yeah, I haven't got my other person to come, so I know who that should be, so I can go to some of the things. Debbie, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put in the comments, I was at the same event as Louise, and there was one stand, it was a venue, and the two ladies were sitting down, both with their laptops open. The only reason I spoke to them is because I knew them, but I doubt they got much interaction all day. So definitely treat it as a, you know, one big happy networking event.
Thank you. I think the funniest thing I ever saw at Watford was we put white tablecloths on all our tables as well. And he literally had a pile of business cards and he put that in the middle of the table. And I went up to him when all the stands were set up. We tend to walk around and check everyone's okay. And I said, "Oh, are you waiting for your stuff to arrive?" And he went, "No, that is my stuff." And I was like, "That's a pile of business cards." And he was like, "Yeah. Did you read the exhibitor pack?" "No. Was I meant to bring anything else?" Anyway, so that's quite funny. So don't be that person. So I was going to put you into some breakout rooms for 10 minutes with maybe 4 other exhibitors or speakers, just to kind of chat about maybe what you've got planned, or maybe you're really stuck for ideas. And I thought we could do 10 minutes, if that's okay. If you don't want to do that, click off now, because I'm going to stop the recording now as well. Actually, let me stop that. And then we'll